Good morning, world. Good morning, world. Welcome back to the channel. For those that have been here before, thanks for returning. For those that are new, thank you as well. We really appreciate you liking, commenting, and sharing the video and subscribing to the channel. So, anyone that's seen any of my material in the past, they know what this channel is all about. We promote conscious thought, higher levels of understanding. We aim to motivate and elevate so that we can go out and dominate and live the life that the universe or God has for you, whichever way you interpret that. You could be the person that you were put on this earth to be. You could have the confidence. You could think pure thoughts, have clean hands and a good heart. So I was awakened this morning and I had to put this down in a video because I was awakened and God often does this to me. The Most High often does this to me. He'll wake me up out of my sleep and he'll begin to download inside of me in the third dimension. Some of you may have gifts of whatever your gifts are. Whatever your gifts are, that's one of my gifts. And this morning, he gave me some subject matter and I have to speak on it. So let's get loose and discuss this. So I see this so often, and I know it's by way of thought and programming, and I know some of you see it as well. Well, I don't know what God is going to do. I don't know what God is taking me, but I'm going to trust him. And without realizing how ignorant that statement is. You think you're being profound. You think you're motivating somebody else, and you don't even realize how ignorant that sounds. Now, I want to deal with that word ignorance first because that's another programming. We're programmed to think and taught to think that ignorant means something negative, and that's truly just not the truth. In this life, we are all ignorant of something. Otherwise, we'll sit back and say, I don't need to learn anything. And ignorance simply means that you don't know something, that there's something that you need to educate yourself on further. You need to learn a little bit more. That's ignorant. You just don't know. And now let's deal with I don't know where, or I have to trust in God no matter where he leads me. Number one, the universe cannot align itself with anything or anyone that does not have a goal, that does not have a plan. That statement right there is the same as me saying, well, I know that I have to get downtown today, but I don't know how I'm going to get there. Now, isn't that ignorance? But that's the same thing. I know that I have to go someplace. Doesn't have to be downtown. I know that I have to get from point A to point B, but I don't know how I'm going to get there. You got to get up. You got to get in your own vehicle if you have one. You got to get on the bus. You got to get on the train. You got to get in some mode of transportation in order for you to get to point A, from point A to point B. Is this not facts? So imagine me sitting around with that same thing saying, man, I got to get downtown, but I'm just going to trust God to give me a way to get there. That's ignorant thinking. There is no magic formula. You got to get up and align yourself with whatever mode of transportation that's going to get you to that point. So why are you talking about, oh, well, I'm going to trust him? It's not going to happen. If you don't have a plan or a goal to get there, then you just simply will not get there. That's plain and simple. I don't care what you've been programmed, or it's been programmed and burned into your brain. I also don't care what you've been taught. Anytime that you've moved from one point to another, it took effort from you. This Bible verse is floated out there all the time. Faith with no works is dead. Faith with no works is dead. You're believing in something. You believe something is going to happen to you without having to put in the work. And that's simply just untrue. All right? Now, let's address another thing, because a lot of people do this, and including myself at one point. Setting goals is different than just dreaming. There's a difference between a dream and a goal. A goal is something that, number one, you've written down on paper. You revisit with high frequency, preferably every day. You're revisiting this goal every day. You're coming back to it, right? And you're executing, you're then taking the action that it's going to take to achieve that goal. Think about that, because that's very, very important. Number one, having the goal, having the plan, having the goal. Number two, writing the goal down. Write the goal down. If you don't write it down, chances are that you will not achieve it. Three, revisit the goal with high frequency. Go back to that goal, preferably every day. And then four, put the plan in action without even thinking about don't attach yourself to the results, and go out and execute that goal. Stop waiting on God as if he's a video game designed just to solve your problems. The problems that you get yourself into. Now, all of a sudden, God is going to fix it. But where was he when you were destroying, or when you were getting yourself into that situation? Didn't he allow you to get into it? So what sense does he make that he's going to bring you out without effort from you, without the same effort that it took to get you in that situation? What sense does that make? When you think about it that way, it should turn a light bulb on your head and say, oh, that's right. Because it took effort for you to get into that situation. Now you don't know where God is taking you, but you're going to trust him. Were you trusting him when you got into the bad situation? Because most of the time, that type of person is in a bad situation, is in a bad place, and want to put a quarter in the video game and go through, and oh, God is going to come save the day. This type of person, man, you not only want to walk away from, you want to run. You want to run away from the type of person that makes ignorant statements like that, because they're never going to do anything but sit on their hands when it comes to going to higher levels, going to attempting to assisting to be the better half of you. They're never going to do anything, because somebody else is going to do this for them. Somebody else is going to come in, namely the video game, and do this for them. They're never going to make any type of efforts to do anything for themselves. Run away from these people, whether it be man or woman. Because if you're dating this type of individual, you're married to this type of individual, your life is going to be nothing but hell. Because this type of individual has convinced themselves that I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is wait. All I have to do is be a good person and wait. And as I said, that's the most ignorant thing that I've ever heard. Think about anything that you've accomplished in your life, and let me speak on that. That type of individual has not achieved much success in life. If you think I'm lying, go back and examine that person's life. That person has probably never achieved a win in life. Never achieved anything in life. Never. All you got to do is follow the breadcrumbs. All you got to do is look. Where your heart is, so lies your treasure. That type of individual is always making excuses. That type of individual is always playing the victim. Well, I couldn't do this. You know, it's 1,000 excuses to this type of individual. I can guarantee you that people that make statements like that have never achieved a win in their life. They've never done anything successful. Because people that are successful or are striving for success know that nothing happens without massive efforts from you. You've ever gone through college and received a college degree? That takes massive amounts of efforts. And I know many people out here say, well, I don't really need college. I think college is a scam. But I'm going to tell you this about college. College gives you perseverance. College teaches you how to critically think. College teaches you about commitment, how to see things, how to see something from start to finish. College puts a lot of this inside of you. So yes, you can make it in today's world without a college degree. But you better be willing to do what it takes on the other end to make up for the fact that you've never been able to see something from beginning to end. You better have the skill sets and the knowledge and put yourself around people that can make up for those facts, that can make up for the fact that you didn't go and do that for yourself. Because if you don't, you're doomed to fail. But back on subject, those type of people never experience wins, so that's why they're still talking like that. Anyone that's had success in any area of your life, you understand that what it took from you, to achieve that goal. What it took from you. You've ever climbed the corporate America ladder? It took a lot out of you. You've ever gotten promoted at your job? That took a lot of effort from you. And you still making statements like that? Correct your thinking. Change your mindsets. Nothing happens to you just because. You're not special. Those of you that are writing those type of statements, you're not special. God ain't finna single you out and just do for you. You gotta do for yourself. Again, the universe does not align itself with anyone that does not have goals. And we cannot just stop there and say goals and that's it. You have to address the fact that there has to be a certain amount of action to achieve goals. You can't just have goals and not write them down. Any successful person that I have taken notes from, that have written New York's best-selling author books, have all said the same thing. You have to write goals down, put them in, keep them on your person, and revisit them as often as possible. And then put into a course of action, put into course of action something that you're doing repeatedly and over and over and over again to achieve that goal. That is the bottom line. There is no secret sauce in this. Have a goal, write it down, revisit it often, and put it to practice, whatever it takes. Not just once, not just twice, but over and over again until you've mastered it, till you've mastered where you want to go, where you want to be. Only then will you achieve success. You think you're going to put a seed in the ground and just walk away and you're going to grow that apple tree? Is that what you think? That doesn't even make sense. And this is all linked to that statement. You're going to put a seed in the ground. Walk away from that seed. Don't cultivate the seed. Don't water the seed. Don't turn the soil. Don't fertilize the soil. There are things that you must do in order for that seed to turn into the tree. And then also, this is very important, because growing the tree is not the final step in the process. The tree must bear fruit, or it will surely wither and die. You want your seed to bear fruit. You want your tree to bear fruit. And the same thing, seed. You want that seed to bear fruit. And the only way that that's going to happen is massive efforts from you. Massive efforts. Do you understand what you as the seed planter have to do in order for that tree to bear fruit? You have to do all the things that I just named. I know that some of this is going to go over some of you all's heads, because the programming is so deep that you don't want to look at other areas of thoughts. You don't want to look at it in other ways. You want to look at it the way that you've been programmed, that your parents who taught you that way of thinking have been programmed, their parents, so on and so forth. It's generational programming. And this is not by coincidence. This is systemic programming to hold certain people back, certain groups of people back. You have to change your way of thinking if you want to go to that next level. If you're really serious about going to that next level, if you're really serious about achieving your goals, you have to change your mindset. You have to change your way of thinking. You have to get out of, oh, well, I don't know where God is taking me, but I will trust him. Nothing in that statement says I have a goal and then I have a plan towards achieving that goal. Nothing about that says that. Because if you did have a goal, you would say, a better statement would be, and I'll tell you how to write that: I don't have the skills or the capabilities which you do, so scratch that. A better statement would be, today, this morning, I just got up and I wrote all of my goals out for the day. I'm going to get busy. I'm going to get busy with putting a plan in action so that I may achieve each and every one of these goals for the day. That's a better statement. Now, whatever you want, you wrote that down. I wrote that down on my goals sheet for the day. Daily. I'm writing goals down daily. And now I'm getting ready to put a plan in action without tying myself to the results, without tying myself to the outcome. I'm going to put a plan in action that is going to allow me to achieve that goal. And then God has no choice. The universe has no choice but to align with my mission to achieve that goal. That's what you should be saying, instead of I don't know where I'm going. Because if you out and don't know where you're going, are you going to reach a destination? Are you going to reach a destination? True or false? In that statement, if you're saying, I don't know where God is taking me, that means you don't know where you're going. You're relying on somebody else to take you where you're going. Does that ever happen? Does anyone get to a destination without having directions about where they're going? Airplane pilots, cab drivers, truck drivers, cruise ship sailors. Does anybody in this world start off on a mission without knowing where they're going and expect to reach a destination? So it's problems with that statement when you made it. I don't know where I'm going. When the true answer is you must know where you're going in order to reach a destination. You must know where you're going in order to reach a destination. So I'm hoping that this helps some of you out there. Mainly a lot of women I see making statements like this. It's mainly women. Change your mindset. Change how you think about life. Change how you think about yourself. Seek knowledge of self. Try to understand who you are and the power that you hold within inside of you. Realize that no one can give you this. You were born with it. If you're expecting a man to validate who it is and what it is that you are, you'll spend a lifetime destroying yourself. That's why it's called self-esteem. Because it's esteem of yourself. It's all about how you feel about yourself. No one can steal from you, can rob joy from you if you know who it is that you are. If you know who it is that you are, you can go out now and be a light into this world instead of being darkness. But you have to stop making statements like this. You got to unlearn all that BS that you've been taught. And you have to be open to new ways of thinking. Nothing stays the same. The world is constantly evolving and changing. Why do you think that you can use outdated principles in a new age world? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. But you can continue to believe that it is going to work. You can continue to practice the same things that you've been doing for decades. You know, you out here 38, 40 years old and been practicing the same things, doing the same things, getting the same results. Continue on. Continue on. Continue doing the same things and continue getting the same results. That's your life. We were all given the same amount of time in a day, in a month, in a year. We are all given the same amount of hours. Keep watching people attain success and saying, I don't deserve that. Oh, and wondering, what did they do to get that? I wonder what they did. They must be something special. God must love them more than he loves me. Keep making statements like that. Keep making statements like that. But don't you ever wonder why your life isn't going. Don't ever wonder why you're living below your potential. Don't you ever sit up and blame anybody for you living below your full capacity if you're making statements like that. Don't look around. Don't blame nobody else. Look at you. Look at you. Because you're practicing outdated principles. When things are going wrong in your life, you don't have far to look. So once again, man, I woke up with this on my heart this morning.